Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on the federal Rico targeting one of Boston's oldest gangs coming out of the Heath Street projects.
This morning, nearly 24 members and associates of the Heath Street gang were arrested, and several other individuals who are in state and federal custody have now been charged in federal court with new offenses. Over 60 firearms were seized in the course of this investigation. The defendants charged in the racketeering conspiracy have been alleged to have been involved in 3 separate murders and multiple shootings.
Nigga, I'll burn you, nigga. I'll burn you, nigga. Heath Street! Heath Street! Heath Street!
They carried high-powered weapons. They made gang signs and mocked gang rivals. These defendants also produced music videos to allegedly promote themselves and denigrate rival gangs.
Art 1, Skulls got stood over and got scorched. Art 2, Dre got blown out of his forces.
In some videos they bragged, as the documents allege, about murders the gang had committed. One line from a rap video allegedly talked about victims of the gang violence. And it says, and I quote, "I can say the names, but I might make the feds come for us."
I can say their name, but I might make the feds come for us. Hold on, wait, somebody pick J Money's cousin up.
Well, the feds have come for you.
With Rico indictments becoming the biggest threat to hip-hop, the feds have targeted and taken down one of Boston's rising rappers with alleged ties to one of Boston's oldest and deadliest gangs. February 14, 2024, the feds announced 41 members of the Heath Street gang were charged with a list of offenses stemming from a 2-year investigation into one of Boston's most notorious projects. Located in Jamaica Plain, the Bromley Heath housing projects were born out of the Great Depression and started accepting tenants in 1941 following World War II. A 4-bedroom unit with utilities included went for just $18 at the time, which equals out to just under $400 in today's currency. The majority of families were poor, as many servicemen were now returning from the war, reuniting with their young families. At the same time, many black Americans fled poverty and discrimination in the South, migrating north for a better life. It wasn't until the mid-50s when black families started moving into the unwelcoming white projects, and as the years went on, the white population within Heath Street rapidly declined. During the 60s and 70s, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, and other Latin immigrants would make Boston their home, while the white population dropped by over 200,000 people. White families were now fleeing the inner city in what was known as white flight. Racism and forced integration were believed by many to be the cause, while some white families claimed to be fleeing rising crime while seeking peace in the suburbs. Either way, what was left was the diverse but territorial 1980s. While gangs like the Crips and Bloods fought through Los Angeles and the Latin Kings battled the Gangster Disciples in Chicago, Boston would form its own gang culture in the 80s based off the streets, hoods, and projects within the city. By the 90s, Boston's murder rate was at its highest, and while many things changed over the next 30 years, the gangs remained the same.
This gang phenomenon's just been in Boston these last 5 years. Instead of Bloods and Crips like in LA, the kids here go for pro sports teams. The Raiders, the Blackhawks, the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers' turf is Orchard Park.
Like my man LMLJ say, straight out of Boston, Buffalo P. There's only one way, and that's to come out strong, nice and long like the boat clown. Rolling through Dudley, making a piss stop, blazer town.
The Heath Street projects, more commonly known as Heat Street, would take on the Miami Heat as a representation of the projects. Less than 5 minutes away in the rival Mission Hill projects, they'd rep the University of Michigan with the M for Mission. See, Boston never became influenced by a bandana. In the Bean, every hood took on a sports team, so wearing the wrong shit could potentially get you shot. With the rise of drill, Boston would receive a spotlight after coverage from one of YouTube's greatest, Trap Geek. In just under 13 minutes, many across the country would be exposed for the first time to the streets of Boston and the murders behind the lyrics of one of Boston's rising rap groups, HSM, or Headshot Mafia. The rap group operated under the gang NOB, an acronym for Norton, Olney, and Berry, 3 streets in the infamous neighborhood of Dorchester. 31 members would be indicted, and HSM's biggest rappers, G Fredo and 7981 Cal, are currently serving time in federal prison. But this was only one group in one neighborhood of the city. Less than 15 minutes away in Jamaica Plain, another young rapper was making noise in the booth and in the streets. Back in the Heath Street projects, Y Gizzle was becoming the new face of Boston drill. His music was giving the energy the city wanted, but his lyrics were catching the attention of law enforcement. Gizzle would speak on his upbringing on the BNF podcast as he described getting arrested at only 15 years old for 3 attempted murders.
Bro, I've been going to just since 12, since DYS, bro. I ain't never cried, bro. I charge it to the game, bro. You feel me? If I did something wrong, I fucked it up, bro. You feel me?
You never had a nigga put you in jail before? A nigga tell on you?
I was 15. I got booked for attempted murder, 3 counts attempted murder. I came home when I was 18.
Following his incarceration would come the death of Y Gizzle's father. On September 29th, 2017, Maurice Lyons had just left work and was going to get food. He'd only made it a few steps when he was gunned down by the intersection of Washington and Park Street in Dorchester. It was just before 8 p.m. on a Friday night, and as the ambulance rushed him through the city, he'd be pronounced dead at Boston Medical Center.
How did your father pass, if you don't mind?
He got shot, he got killed.
He got killed, okay.
So they locked me up just because my father died 3 days after. For me, so I had to go to the funeral and shot.
What was the charge? They can't lock you up just for locking you up.
DYS could pull you in. They pull you in. Revocation, for safety.
All right,
They put me in for safety, you feel me? That's what they did, pull me in for safety. So my father died, the next day they threw a warrant out on me. You feel me? And they came and got me 2 days later for safety.
So you couldn't attend the funeral?
So I attended the funeral from DYS brought me in shackles and cuffs. So before everybody got there, I was the first one there. See my pops in shackles and cuffs for 15 minutes, and went right back to the unit.
That's different.
His father, who went by the name Morty 6, was also a rapper, and from another notorious area known as H Block. Located in the Roxbury neighborhood, H Block is named after the multiple streets that surround Humboldt Ave, where damn near every street starts with an H. H Block is also one of the main rivals of the Heath Street projects, but it wouldn't affect the father-son relationship between Morty and Gizzle, aside from Gizzle's ops being present at the funeral. Y Gizzle would openly diss H Block.
Gang HBK and all that?
You know that. That's on the red. Fuck it. We don't give a fuck. We going through H Block, you guys, and we fucking hate them bitch ass niggas. Them niggas is hoes. Don't think I'm lying. Niggas is fucking bitch, nigga. We out fucking H Block, and I'm respectfully HBK. I'm respectfully HBK. You a bitch, nigga. I'm respectfully HBK. Nigga, I'll burn you, nigga. Fuck. You a bitch, nigga.
And even then, Gizzle's biggest threat didn't come from dissing ops. It's when he mentioned the feds. A federal indictment would reveal multiple Heath Street members, with Y Gizzle's name at the top of the list, as they were now accused of being leaders, members, and associates of an organization that committed murder, robberies, fraud, trafficking, and racketeering. Y Gizzle would face drug conspiracy violations from fentanyl and marijuana, along with possessing a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. In multiple arrests, law enforcement were able to recover drugs, guns, and ammo off Gizzle, including a 9mm Beretta and a 9mm P80, more commonly known as a ghost gun, which all will be forfeited to the feds. Back in February of 2021, it was 6 a.m. as Boston SWAT executed a search warrant on a triple-decker in Dorchester. According to probation, this was Gizzle's listed residence while on pretrial release for a state case. Before entering the home, officers witnessed a male come to the window with an object in hand. When an officer flashed a light at the window, the male backed away and out of view. Entering the home, officers found Gizzle along with 3 females, one of which he was in a relationship with. Within the room, they saw Gizzle in the window. They recovered a loaded 9mm Beretta under the couch. Within his bedroom, they'd find 19 blue pills marked M on one side and 30 on the other, along with plastic baggies containing an off-white substance. The pills tested positively for fentanyl. Arrested by Boston police and eventually released, investigators would find that only months later Gizzle was posting pills to social media on multiple occasions, showing he was distributing fentanyl over an extended period of time. On October 28, 2021, Massachusetts state troopers were conducting surveillance on Gizzle in Somerville, a city just outside of Boston. They had an arrest warrant and at 7:05 p.m. observed their target with another male as they walked towards a black Jeep registered to an associate of the Heath Street gang. Now driving the vehicle, they'd make an abrupt U-turn before parking in a bike lane when state troopers activated their lights. A search of the Jeep would recover a 9mm P80 along with 117 designer bags of marijuana and over $7,000. These 2 arrests would be enough for the feds to tie Y Gizzle into the Heath Street Rico. Now, while Heath Street has warred with H Block for 40 plus years, Heath Street is said to have a major division within its own hood. Trottie, as in Trottie Y Gizzle, would be the rap group with members like Trottie Moolah, Trottie J, etc. These were the younger guys in the projects, while the older members strictly claimed heat. It's been said tempers flared between the generations for a while, and the same can be said for many of the hoods in Boston. But for heat, a division was born in 2020. Officers responded at 950 Parker Street around 6:50 p.m., finding a man suffering from gunshots. 45-year-old Augusta Carter was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead. Just 2 days later, Mass State Police arrested 26-year-old Umari Buffett on a murder warrant. It's alleged that Gus was standing with a group of people in the project courtyard when Umari walked up, firing multiple times before standing over Gus's body and firing into him 2 more times. Umari would be identified by surveillance cameras as well as witness interviews. And Umari, who's more commonly known by his nickname U-Haul, will be later mentioned in a song by Trottie Moolah titled Free U-Haul. Luckily for Heath Street, no murders or shootings were actually included in the indictment, but that doesn't mean this case will be sweet. 25-year-old Y Gizzle faces up to a life sentence just for possession of a firearm in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime, and he still has 3 charges on top of that. A plea deal can be expected soon, as with all Fed cases, and the fact that trial would end with a life sentence if things go all the way wrong. Looking into Y Gizzle's criminal history, he'd been caught with 3 different guns in the past. So a prison sentence will more than likely land Gizzle at a medium security prison, if not a United States penitentiary, which are the deadliest in the federal prison system. With Heath Street taking a major loss, the city of Boston is still waiting for a rapper to break through into the industry and put the city on the map. The question is, will they last long enough to rise, or will the feds take them down? Now, as we've seen with every rapper that gets hit with a Fed case, their career takes a major hit. It doesn't matter if you're Kodak, if you're Pooh Shiesty, and I mean, those are major rappers. So when you're an upcoming rapper, unfortunately, the feds, they pretty much rob you of the potential career you could have had. And it isn't that, they're just coming in on no reason. Obviously, you're involved in some shit if the feds are coming in. But the feds are career killers. I've yet to really see anybody bounce back like that after the feds, especially when you're facing as much time as Gizzle in this case. Now, he got off because I've been living in Boston since 2015. I remember the stories of the back and forth shootings between different projects and this and that. So the fact that no shootings or murders have been tied into this indictment is a blessing for them. And to be honest with you, the 2 times he got caught with something, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. but he got caught with a gun, 117 bags of weed, $7,000. That's enough on top of the other gun and the little fake perks. That right there, indicted. Gang indictment. Oh, he's a part of that gang. He's a part of that projects and he's doing this. And that's the crazy power behind a federal indictment. Gizzle didn't have to be doing none of that shit with anybody else. He's doing it on his own. But because he's a part of that project, he claims that project is moving like a gang in the eyes of the feds. They were able to wrap up 41 people in that one indictment and say, hey, we don't give a fuck if you were making money with them. They're repping the same shit as you. All of y'all are going down for racketeering. Now it's wild because Millie's actually mentioned Y Gizzle to me before. Like, yo, you should check him out, And I never really looked into him until I heard his name pop up when this indictment hit. He could rap. Thing is, a lot of what he's rapping about is disrespectful and it leads to certain things, as we all know. But he definitely had some shit. He definitely had potential. He was making good music. I don't know how this case is gonna end. Hopefully for him, he gets a plea deal that isn't too much, but at the same time, he's facing a lot of time. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. Until next time.